Our Across the Aisle segment tonight as protests in Iran continue, with women overseas risking their lives and their safety to protest an oppressive Islamic theocracy. Liberals right here in the United States have been strangely silent. In fact, Susan Rice, former President Obama's national security advisor, actually said that the best thing President Trump can do here is be silent. But why are they all acting like this? For all the liberal feminists talk about intersectionality, where's the solidarity with Iranian women? Women who are actually oppressed. With me now, women's rights activist Bren Herrera. Bren, thank you so much for joining me today.
Hi, Liz. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, of course. I always appreciate when people have a different viewpoint are willing to come on and have the conversation. I think that adds so much value to the dialogue. But let's get right into this topic. The protests in Iran right now are being led by women. One of the defining images of the protests so far is the woman standing on that platform. She removed her hijab, even at the risk of arrest or punishment by police here. And my question, I guess, is about liberal feminists in the United States. We heard from the Women's March when that happened last January that it wasn't just about American women. It wasn't just about the United States. It was women all over the world standing up, putting our foot down and saying enough is enough with the patriarchy here. So where's the Women's March on this?
Well, thank you for having me on. But let me just say, first of all, we had close to 500,000 women here last year in solidarity against Donald Trump and his very public allegations and assaults against women and what he's able to do against us. So you have 500,000 women that are coming to the United States here in Washington, D.C. and marching. We had almost 5 million women around the world, again, in solidarity, protesting for women's rights. So I don't know what it is that you're looking for us to do here in Washington today. It's 15 degrees, it's snowing outside. Are we in support of women's rights around the world? Absolutely, unequivocally, yes. But I don't know what it is that you're looking for the Democratic Party, the feminist movement, to do today. We just rolled out the Time's Up campaign 2 days ago, and in just 2 weeks' time, we are about, I think, $13,000 short of raising the $15 million. I don't know, again, other than going to Twitter and making official statements, I can't speak for the Women's Law Center or Tamika and the Women's March organizers themselves, but I'm sure that they are putting together a statement. Again, I'm not speaking on their behalf, but I'm sure they're putting
I hope they are. I hope they are. I haven't seen anything. I talked to Linda Sarsour yesterday morning on Twitter, and she immediately pivoted away from the women in Iran because I just asked her. I said, I mean, the statistic that you said, there are 500,000 women in Washington, D.C. that were marching for what they said were women's rights, but there were 5 million women all around the world in 81 different countries. I think it was 165 different marches. That's very impressive organization. Why isn't the Women's March organizing that same march? Why aren't they speaking out, using their voices, using their resources and experiences?
We have an event coming, or they have an event coming up at the end of January in Chicago or in Vegas rather, to launch what's going to be the protesters to the poll movement for this year's situation. We have a situation where Hollywood is ousting men that are abusing women, assaulting women, and in response to that, the Me Too campaign, again, the Time's Up campaign, are our way of fighting back for these atrocities against women. This is our voice. We have a situation here at home in and of itself that we are attacking. Again, with respect to Iran, I don't know what it is that you're looking for, the Democrats or the liberals or the feminist movement, to say other than we are in support of you. We can't take to the streets right now. We have our own situation here at home to take a handle of.
No, I mean, that's what I am looking for. I'm looking for feminists to speak out as loudly about human rights abuses as they are speaking out against Donald Trump. I mean, in Iran, and I know we're in complete agreement on this, women in Iran are forced to wear hijabs whether they want to or not. Under penalty of the law, they can be punished by police. They're married off as young as 13 years old to men with other wives. Marital rape is essentially legal in Iran. You can be raped by your own husband who's married to other people. They're not allowed to travel without permission from their husbands. Why isn't that a primary thing that we're speaking out about?
Why aren't you speaking out about a president that publicly assaults and brags about assaulting our women? He's got allegations against him for rape of a young 14-year-old. Why aren't the conservatives, the GOP, and those women talking up against a president that's leading this country and then holding us accountable for protecting women's rights across the pond or across the river or across the world, who are fighting for their lives? I get it, but we have an issue here in our country, in the nation's capital, not even 12 miles away from D.C., across the street from the White House. Why is our president going on air bragging about what he's doing to these women, and you on the other side aren't defending what we're trying to do for women all over the world.
Well,
Again,
no, I mean, that's putting words in my mouth. If you'd watch my show, you know what I said about that tape. I said it was despicable. I said it was inappropriate. I said it was sexist. And I said he should be ashamed of doing it, all of which I think he is. But this is exactly what I'm talking about. You're pivoting immediately. You're saying, oh, listen, those ladies on the other side of the pond are fighting for their problems. We're fighting for ours. That's not what the women last year were saying during the Women's March. They were saying this is something all around the world, that we stand in solidarity with each other. We champion and support all women. And it seems to me that this is another example of the Women's March and liberal feminists here in our country not standing up for a certain category of women because it contradicts another part of their political agenda.
It absolutely does not. But when you want to sit up here and ignore the fact that we have a very serious issue here in the United States with our own president, again, touting and bragging his assaults against women, and we don't, in general, support the causes of brown, black, minority women across the world. Privileged white women, which I'm sure you are very familiar with, are very much in support of women's rights here in the United States, but they are not, white women, particularly the privileged white women, are not out batting for women that come from Cuba, where I come from. I was born in the third world nation of Havana, Cuba, but I don't see support for black women, Latino women, brown women, Asian women from your side of the aisle. Where's that support when we are?
Show me an example. Is there someone in my party who doesn't, in the Republican Party, someone who identifies as conservative that doesn't fight for minorities? Because if you can give me a specific example, I will be with you 100%, standing with you saying, listen, stand up for minorities, but I'm not sure that you can give an example.
Where was the tremendous amount of Republican GOP women at the march last year? I believe the statistic was about 70% were liberal out there marching in cold weather right after the inauguration in support of
Bren,
women's rights.
why was that? Why was that? Why was that? I'll tell you the answer. No. Wait a second. Let me tell you the answer. It's because women like me who identify as being pro-life, who stand up for unborn women in the womb, we were excluded from the Women's March. We were told we don't truly support women. We don't truly champion women. We aren't real women because we're pro-life. You chose to exclude us. We didn't choose to ignore you.
A publication of people from within the White House who are now talking about the things that he has said in office, the complete ineptness of a presidency that's trying to run this country. So yes, that Women's March was in response to Donald Trump and the way that he abuses women, the way that he talks about blood streaming from our faces. So where are the women that are trying to now talk to me that we're not supporting the women in Iran? Where are those women that are supporting Donald Trump? What
Again,
do you guys have
name
to
for
do?
me one woman who didn't condemn those comments. Bren, this was a load of fun. I love debating with you. I hope you come back. They are telling me that I'm out of time. Thank you so much for being here. Our final tipping point of the night. Ladies, it's time to celebrate. Iceland just became the first country in the world to make it illegal to pay men more than women for the same job. At least that's what Bernie Sanders told us. But wait, let's journey back to 1963. Guess which country was actually first to codify into law equal pay for women? We'll show you when we come back.